Hi, it's Paul from Hurricane Forex, and I'm going to go through the charts, review charts, just to talk through some of the things going on. It's a Monday, and the UK market is shut, and that has resulted in this sort of thing all day, which means that you can't really generally trade it. If you've got shut markets, you're looking for proper breakouts, and even if you do get breakouts, then it comes a bit slow. We're now into the US session. But even then, there's not a lot around. I've got this long CAD yen on at the moment, and I'm going to talk through each part of the chart so you can see it. So the first thing we're going to look at is the Fib levels. Now, if I scroll this up a little bit, you can see that the indicator has these Fibonacci levels marked out, and each line there's some hatched areas and there's some solid areas, and those are targets that we need to be aiming for. The second thing I'm going to look at is this. You see this gold dotted line? That's basically the daily Hakanashi movement. So, for instance, we've got a confirmed downtrend here. You can see because the gold line is above the price. So when we hit this sell, we can hit that sell, and we take the sell, and off we go. You see it's been flat. So it tells you that the market's weak bearish at the moment. That means it's a likely chance of reversal because there's not enough power in it to move. And the spread tells you how much spread. If that's high, don't take your trade. It will tell you not to. And then you've got the overall trends for the different time frames. So you can see straight away what's going on. We've got a bullish time frame coming into play at the moment, and I don't know whether it's going to go anywhere, to be honest. Today it's been so slow, and the problem with this kind of market is it's very difficult to trade in because you're closing and opening trades all over the place. Normally I'd say hold back on this type of market. So let's just scroll through a couple more charts and just see if we can find anything. So here, for example, is a buy signal. So let's look at the buy signal. I'll act as if I'm taking a trade. So let's say I see this buy signal. I'm in a weak bullish market, so I've got to be aware that there's a chance this is going to scroll back, going to pull back, but it didn't in this case. It's already on the way to target. And so my entry would be on this candle here. My first target is here, and my second and my actual take profit is there. So what I do is I set a trailing stop up from that for this distance here on MetaTrader 4. So all you do is you right click the trade in the trade list, and you can set the trailing stop in points. Next thing I'm going to cover, these green and red lines are basically Hakanashi short-term indicators, just to show you which direction we're heading in terms of at that point. So if you can see here, we've got a sell. We wouldn't take a sell here because it's in a big uptrend, so we'd look to take only buys. So we take a buy there, a buy there, a buy here, and then you'd have all this. This is a Friday, obviously, which is bad news. Fridays are bad news, so we tend not to trade very much on Fridays. And here, although if you did and you put your stop down here, you'd probably be all right. Here's your Monday trade, and obviously it's managed to rally up there. Don't take all the trades, obviously. Take the ones that work. So for instance here we've got a strong bearish market that's actually changed direction, and you can see the things that tell you the market's changing direction are this. Firstly, you'll see that these two lines start coming together. Okay, that's a sign we're changing direction. Okay, second thing that happens is that the price will break through the area between those two lines. You can see here how it's got into here. It was into a buy, it got into here, and it changed directions into there. Markets changing directions will cause you to have bad trades because obviously you're expecting it to go one way and it goes completely a different way. And in fact, that's what we've got going on a little bit today. Being Monday, I've had to close a few trades, but you see how this one's breaking up powerfully through this white line here, which gives me a hint that actually we're changing directions at the moment, although there's been no hint of it for ages. And then all of a sudden today, and Mondays are the sort of day when these things happen, we're starting to see powerful breakups through these lines, and you see how it's honoured this bearish trend for a long time, and now it's just breaking through and it see how it's flat. So it says market flat, which is again another sign we're getting a breakthrough, even though these two lines haven't started moving towards each other. So this could be the very start of a bullish trend, but at the moment we're still, as far as the daily Hakanashi, these gold lines, we're actually in a bearish trend. So this will be a trade where I'd be loath to get into it just in case it's a fake. Again, here, look at this flat market. You don't want to be trading in this because you're not going to make a lot of pips. It's never going. If you see this sort of thing going on and it says market flat, stay well out of it. Okay, market weak bearish. So again, it's starting to move a little bit. You can see the lines are coming together, even though it's been a bullish. In fact, you can see here's some signals. I'll go through there. Aussie dollar buy. Let's go and have a look at that. Well, we've got a signal. So you see how these gold underlying things, we've got everything's in order for buy signals, but it's a weak buy and it's a flat market, so you want to stay out of it. Window, Aussie dollar. Let's go and look at Aussie dollar, see if we've got a trade there. Activate. Now you can see now. So what's first of all, we'll start up here. Market is a weak bearish market, and you can see it's actually bounced pretty much across the bottom there. Okay, and it's kind of flat. You see how this white line is not very flat. They're still moving away from each other. So I'd really want to take a sell on this rather than a buy. But it just seems, because we're on a Monday and the UK market is shut, it's difficult to tell what that's going to do. I need something confirming a change of direction, because at the moment it's pretty bearish after this big move here. So let's go. Oh, that's the video thing. Let's go through. If you do Control Tab, you can flip through the charts quite easily. So again, I'm not going to take anything on this one. Let's look at this chart here. This is a bit crazy. So we had a short on. This is oil. So I don't normally trade oil. I just have it there to look at. But you can see it's gold has shown that it's actually overall bearish. However, it's a weak bearish market, which means that there's a chance it might turn around. And you can see how we've had lots of congestion. We had a breakdown to this first level, and then it's just pulled straight back again. Again, that's probably because of Mondays, probably because of things are the wrong way around. Brent oil as well, the same sort of story. So we're looking for so here we've got a sell on Aussie Swiss. I've been in for a while. I was actually in on this signal here. You can see what's happened. It's just pulled straight back. It's gone halfway and pulled back to here. If this is going to go bearish again, okay, it's now gone into a flat market. So I might choose to close my trade and break even. But really, I think because this is halfway between these two fib levels, there's a fib level there and there's one there. Because it's halfway between those, this is halfway between those two fib levels. I'm kind of hoping that this will turn bearish here, or bearish at some point in the future, and carry on down into a new trend. But it won't. It's not going to do it at the moment. There's just no movement in the market. The markets have hardly moved today. Well, I've got my stop in. I just wait and see what happens with this one. We did have this sort of thing here, as you can see. We've had it a bit over here, and hopefully tomorrow maybe we'll find some movement in the markets. This system is very good for finding signals giving you a good buy into a signal. Look at this one. So you see we've got the same thing. We've got a buy. You see how it's changed direction. So the market has gone across. The market's gone across these two lines. It looks like a bullet, like an alligator. You see how that's coming together. There's his eye. Okay, so and what basically we're looking, so you see the problem is we get that here where it pulled right across that line and then just turned around and went down again. So we kind of need that to change to below the price for us to take a long on it. Okay, you might have taken a long on this one if you'd have seen it powering up, because you'll get a signal and it'll already be powering up and you can get in quick and take those kind of longs. But my worry with this is that it's not a confirmed bullish trend yet, but it will be because of this line going up. You see how we go, we're in a bearish trend, and then we've got this buy signal here, and it's making higher highs along there. So I'm pretty sure this is going into a bullish trend, and in fact you could have taken that if you see this kind of thing. So if you see something where it looks like this, okay, that's going into a bearish trend. If you see something where it looks like this, that's going into a bullish trend. Okay, but if you're a trader that likes to be a bit more safe, you probably want to wait for the confirmation of that. So for instance, this chart, we're on Euro GBP. I don't trade this. It's a terrible pair. Normally, because it just ranges a lot. But we haven't had a range. We've had a bit of a bullish trend, which has been quite nice. So here I'd have taken a buy. If I was going to trade this, I'd take a buy there, a buy there, a buy there. You see how the market came together like this. We've had this congestion here. It's sat there. We've got this big buy that broke out. Anything that's a breakout is a good move, because normally breakouts are consistent. So You got a sell signal, but there's no breakout. But here you had a breakout in that candle that actually pushed above this white line, and you see how that now the these two, the Hakanashi moving averages, start moving apart. And then you've got some buy signals there. You can take a buy signal in that one, a buy signal in that one. This one would have been into your trailing stop because it got halfway between the two things, and as you can see, that's why it says it's a weak bullish market. So it didn't actually make it to that target. This one did make it to this target. Okay, so remember the structure is very simple. So get an entry. So let's say we took this entry here. Okay, and then our first target is actually this fib level. The second target is that fib level there, which it achieves quite easily. Okay, and at the first target we're not going to take profit. What we do is have a trailing stop. So again, remember that we measure our trailing stop from our entry point to the first target, and that's what we set our trailing stop as. And so when you do that, you just on the I don't know what I've got going on at the moment. I've got some trades on at the moment. So what you do is, let's say you right click this one, go trailing stop custom, and it's 400 points, not 40 points. 40 points is 4 pips. You want 400 pips. So on this one, which is Euro Aussie, let me just switch to Euro Aussie so we can have a look at this trade. So I've got an entry, and the entry came in on this candle here. You see that? I was in for a buy. When there's more volatility in the markets, this is way easy to trade with. But because we're in this horrible weak bullish thing, it's not really moving. You know, it's hard trading because you're just waiting for it's just not moving at all. We need a proper breakout really here, but we did have a good bullish move this morning, which I got in on this candle. So my entry is here, my take profit. What I do is I go to here, click on this plus sign, and I measure that distance, and it's about 33 pips. So I go into here on Euro Aussie. I don't know what I set it to, but let's do it properly. I normally round it up or down, so 330 points, which is 33 pips. Hit OK. Now that's set to go. So when this that's a dollar Swiss buy. I'm just going to have a look at that quickly. You'll see also, you will see a lot of trades coming at the same time. So I've had a dollar trade at the moment. There is a, sorry, it's a sell. Dollar trade sell. A dollar Swiss sell. I think that's just making up this hole. Okay, do I think that's a valid trade? First issue I've got is that you can see how these are moving together. Okay, I want to take a buy on this. I want to see if this goes into a buy trade. We had this massive long doing nothing. It pulled back and it's going. It looks like it's crossed across here. I'm staying out of this one. I really want to see it make a buy trade. Okay, but you can see how we've got that formation again. How these lines come together, and that crosses over. That means we're going into a sell. So now we've got. In fact, you'll find that if we scroll back just a second, if I just scroll back, you can see how it was in a buy. So what happens is you see this change direction. I then got into these getting closer together, and the price pushed across these two lines and went into confirmed sell, 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 and then we've got this buy, big bullish buy, normally caused by news. All right, and it's going across here, and then we've got a little sell, but this is like halfway back. You see how that happens? Entry on this candle. First target's this yellow line, second target the white line. These hatched areas are just done like that to sort of differentiate fib levels, but they're all fib levels. So moving swiftly on. Ignore my phone. Okay, ignore my phone. Right, moving swiftly on. So while I'm scrolling through charts, let's just open the chart because it's nicer to look at them like that. So I wouldn't take that dollar Swiss trade. So here we go. Look at this. We've got a weak bearish market. It's pretty flat. You know, you can take the trades in these weak markets, but it's better to be taking trades in strong. So there's a strong bearish market, for instance. Now, what am I going to take? First thing I'm going to tell you is going to happen with this. So firstly, when it opened this morning, it opened there where there's a big gap. That'll pull back to fill that gap. They have to do that. Okay, but this is a strong bearish market. You can see the white line is really herring down. but this is Ethereum in fact, but it's good for me to show you. This is Ethereum. I can tell you that. I'll come back to there to fill. It'll fill that gap first, and then you could take a short on it. But it is warning you the spread's quite high. That may be to do because it's only got 2 digits. I don't normally trade cryptocurrencies, to be fair. I just had it open because someone commented on Ethereum and I thought I'd have a look. So I want to try find strong. There's a strong bearish market, but the problem with this market again is it's stuck in it. This is an inverse pennant, so you can see it's not really going anywhere, and I'm sure it's just because that's the US 30. Again, Aussie, New Zealand, it did a rally. It's kind of nothing's going very far because there's just not the volatility in the market we need. However, we may get volatility overnight if the Aussies and the Asian markets start moving a little bit more. I sound really negative, but I've done really well with this indicator. So I'm just going to go through and summarise it all. So these levels, you can see these numbers down here, they're Fib levels, they're your targets. This yellow is the daily Hakanashi average, and so you can see when you're in a bearish trend it's above, when you're in a bullish it's below it. The red and green arrows are signals. The white line and the blue and gold line, so the gold means we're buying, the blue means we're selling, and if they come towards each other like that, that means the market's changing direction, which is sometimes the biggest killer of Forex traders, is markets changing direction, because you think you're in an uptrend and suddenly it changes direction, but we can actually see on our charts that actually happening. So you know you can get into that, you could get into a sell here if you wanted to, except it would stop you out, but that's probably, you know, it'd probably stop you out even if you were there, because it makes a double top and then it pulls down. You know, none of this is very clean, but you see how Friday and Monday are pretty static on GBP JPY, and maybe that's partly to do with the fact we've got FOMC on Wednesday, which normally really slows the markets down. It goes into a dead horrible move. This is a nice trade I put on this morning. Again, I was in it was a weak it was a weak bearish market when I started. It's now gone flat, but I am in quite a bit of profit, and it did actually break. Sometime in a weak bearish market, a weak market, you'd expect it to only make it to the first Fib level. I always have my targets on the second anyway, but you see how it's pulled down here, and it looks like it's kind of given up, but it hasn't. I can tell you that hasn't. It will pull back a bit, and then it will probably continue. But again, there's no. That might not happen till tonight. But it's got further to go without a doubt. And once it hits that 50%, it'll be trailing stop anyway, so it'll be at break even. So yeah, okay. I hope that's clear. I'm going to make what I'll do is I'm going to make a screenshot of this with everything labelled to show you what we're looking at. And but once you get the hang of it, like you can see that this is a market that is weak and bearish, but it is a market that has been bullish for a while. It's become weak and bearish, and now it's static. So we don't want to be trading in this market. Okay, at the moment, we need to see some volatility for a start. So yeah, if you join our Discord forum and on the website, there's going to be a page set up with this information on it, which will be really helpful. But I hope that helps. That's another little trading video. Look at that pinball. Okay, www.hurricaneforex.com.